Hey guys, I have a quick recipe for you today. I know that someone asked a couple of months ago about a recipe for Hollandaise sauce, an easy Hollandaise sauce. I actually found a really good recipe in this old cookbook that I found. That's why I have my glasses on, because I have to read the instructions. You like them? Okay, so the recipe calls for 1 cup of butter, which is 2 sticks, 4 egg yolks, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a dash of cayenne, and 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Earlier today, I got a few lemons and I squeezed them so I could have some fresh lemon juice. You can use the bottled if you want, but I'm going to use that. And so the recipe says heat the butter to just boiling or bubbling. Meanwhile, place all the other ingredients in the electric blender, cover, turn the blender on, and just drizzle that hot butter into the blender. Now, my mom always said that she didn't like blender Hollandaise sauce because she worried about E. coli or whatever it was back then. So I've never made it this way, but the theory behind the boiling or the bubbling butter is because it will cook the egg yolks as you pour it in, and that's why it thickens. So let me go ahead and put in, let me show you. I've already gotten my 4 egg yolks, so I'm going to put those in there. And it calls for a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to go ahead and use my my Himalayan salt and do this. I love this salt blender, by the way. It's an OXO. They're expensive. I mean, this little one is about $20, but it is so worth it. You turn the bottom of it instead of having to do the top, and I just love this. This is my favorite one. Okay, and then it says for a dash of cayenne, which I'm not going to do, but I will go ahead and do 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, 1 and 2. Now, I'm going to go over and get my my butter, and I'll be right back. All right, and here's my butter, and it is, I don't know if you can see how steaming it is, but it is really good and hot. So I'm going to go ahead and put the cover on my blender. And this is going to be noisy, and I do apologize, but I'm going to point this camera down so you can see a little better about what I'm doing and how it turns out. All right, here we go. Well, it would help if I turned it or I plugged it in. Let me do that. All right, now that it's plugged in, let me go ahead and do this. right, now I don't know if you could hear while we were going how the sound of the blender changed, and that was as it was thickening up. The concept behind this is kind of the same concept as making mayonnaise in the blender, where you add your oil really slow and it emulsifies it, and that's what causes it to get thick. So let me show you what I ended up with. And as you can see, it's pretty thick. Let me get my spoon and see. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at how nice and thick that is. Now, the real question, how does it taste? Y'all, as good as Mama makes it. My mom, she takes about half an hour to cook this over the stove, but I'll tell you what, this is delicious. Now, we usually only make Hollandaise sauce at holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Easter, and we serve it on top of green vegetables like broccoli, asparagus, green beans. All of these would be really good with Hollandaise sauce. And in the last few years, what I've also done is I've gone ahead and I've used it on my turkey, on my chicken, whatever meat I have, because, you know, a good sauce is always a good sauce no matter what. Now, I will say about this recipe that it is not as lemony. So if you want a little more lemon flavor to it, I would probably add another tablespoon when I make this next time. But this is a good way to get in some good fats, okay? It does have 2 tablespoons of lemon juice in it, which would be 2 carbs. The 4 egg yolks, I would probably count 1 carb for that, but you're gonna get multiple servings out of this. So 3 carbs for the whole recipe, and you're probably gonna use, you know, not even a quarter of that for your serving. Or maybe you will, because you really like it. So that's my quick recipe for Hollandaise sauce. I really didn't know if it would work or not, but it is nice and thick. Now I will check back with you guys in a couple of days and see if it stores and reheats well. That's the only thing. Today is Sunday, Thanksgiving. We're gonna do our Thanksgiving on Friday. Sorry, had to do that. We're gonna do our Thanksgiving on Friday. So I don't know how it'll keep until then, if it'll reheat or not. There's about 3 or 4 other Hollandaise recipes in here in this cookbook, and I may try another one later on in the week to see if there's a difference in taste or texture or anything. And so if I make that other recipe, I will update you on how well this heats up. But this is a good recipe to do for holidays, but it's also something you could do every day too. So I hope you like it. It was really quick, and have a great Sunday.